This is the Halloween episode, isn't it?
It is the Halloween episode. It's gonna be very scary. I'm very proud. I think I found a story that hasn't been told many times before. It's very regional, but it almost feels like a Grimm's fairy tale, but the one that happened in Canada.
I'm just waking up too, so this is great. Just pound back some caffeine and listen to a
good job you're not about to go to
story.
sleep because you'd have nightmares.
What makes Canada boring?
Have you ever seen the flag? It's a leaf.
£1 million to go to Canada.
Canada is boring.
I was actually shocked. I mean, from all the countries they could choose from.
Do you like maple syrup?
No, I don't.
These Canadians ain't got a care in the world.
Get my country's name out of your fucking mouth.
I was like, oh, he's in Canada. All right. Okay, you communist.
The country needs you.
I'm Canadian.
But don't feel bad for Canada. Believe me, this is their strategy.
I'll tell you another thing, the beer sucks.
Don't run off to Canada. It's so boring there.
Okay, hello and welcome to Canada's Boring Halloween special, like the Simpsons Halloween specials, kind of.
Could we have some lightning strikes when you say
maybe
shit like that? Yeah.
Maybe a goose being stepped on.
A goose?
That kind of stuff. Yeah.
Like a Canada goose? Okay.
Horrible.
That's scary.
There we go. And let's do a special spooky STD zone at the end of the episode where we talk small talk dimension zone. We'll do that at the end of the episode where, podcast listeners who don't want to care about our lives and just want content, they can just jump straight into it. But if you do, you stick around at the end and you can hear us talk about, I don't know, diarrhea or something.
I do enjoy the fact that you still explain what the STD zone is, just in case we have some new listeners going like, what are you talking about, the STD zone?
Well,
what?
If we do have new listeners, I imagine they would go, what the hell is the STD zone? Is it some kind of menagerie of genital warts? Do you know what I mean?
A menagerie of genitals, of diseased genitals, yeah.
I'm sure the Victorians had those kind of menageries. Anyway.
We're starting off right, man.
We are starting off right. Happy Halloween. So anyway, just I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer called Weinheim-Stephaner, which is from the world's oldest brewery in Germany.
And I'm drinking Napoleon coffee.
Nice.
There we go. You still haven't told me what today's story was about.
I'll get to it now. I just realized at the bottom of my beer it says Premium Bavaricum.
That's weird. So it's noon where you, or it's 2 p.m. What are you doing drinking a beer? You
It's
don't drink either.
It's non-alcoholic. You can drink non-alcoholic beer for breakfast and no one judges you.
Okay, so that's that. I got Reese. That's even weirder, man.
Why?
Okay.
I just like the taste of beer. Why else would I force myself to drink shitty non-alcoholic beer?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
But now that I don't drink alcohol, I can drink non-alcoholic beer literally while driving. It's great. Please pull me over. I'll be like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's non-alcoholic beer, bro. Go and arrest a real criminal.
Please do this.
Stop wasting my tax dollars. Anyway, let's talk about Halloween stuff, shall we?
Let's do it. Do we have a new Halloween intro?
Maybe. I don't know. If I get around to doing it, insert a new Halloween intro here.
They say Winnipeg's glowing under alien gas, and the fruit machine's humming from the government's past. A Sasquatch's footprints in BC snow, and a psychic moose on a late night show. Somewhere in Saskatoon, a time warp hums, and Alberta's oil wells beat like drums. Meanwhile, PEI's potatoes talk, and people are hiking where Wendy goes walk. Say Canada is boring, oh bless your soul. We've got ghost trains running through the North Pole, from haunted labs to curse parades. We're maple flavored madness with healthcare pay. So grab your took, your double fear. The weirdest stories all start right here, where history's scariest thing you'll hear.
So, have you ever heard of the Baldoon settlement?
The Baldoon settlement sounds like something out of the Lord of the Rings. No, I have not heard of the Baldoon.
It was a failed Scottish settlement founded near present-day Wallaceburg, Ontario, in 1804 by somebody called Lord Selkirk. However,
this is where?
Wallaceburg, Ontario, 1804. Bunch of Scottish people, led by a man called Lord Selkirk, tried to settle a town in that region. However, it was plagued by difficulties, including swampy land, harsh winters, malaria, and a lack of food. And its failure was also compounded by the invasion of America during the War of 1812.
Jesus, these guys are having just a hell of a time. Holy fuck.
But during this time, so in this kind of like, it's very atmospheric, so imagine lots of fog and miserable people because this settlement they've been trying to build is failing. People are dying, wars happening. It's kind of not a great place. It's a kind of it feels like the first third of like a Tim Burton movie. This
is a fascinating. How long were people there for? How long were they trying to build this settlement for?
I think that for a couple of decades they gave it a good go.
Christ. Okay, so there's this fascinating thing that humans do. There's probably a psychological term for it, I'm sure. It's really, we all do it. Everybody does it. It's like the whole boiling a lobster slowly sort of thing. Like, this is fine, everything's fine, until it's suddenly not fine.
Yeah, it's also the sunken effort is this what's called the sunken effort fallacy?
The sunk cost fallacy?
Sunk cost fallacy, that's it, yeah. Where you're just there, you just keep going. Well, I've spent 15 years in this swamp, so why should I give up now?
Right. So it reminds me of like when you start like a new game that you can customize things, like The Sims, let's say, right? And you get to customize the shit out of your sim character. Or like Fallout or something like that. And you can put scars on your face, you can do this, you can do that. You can do whatever you want. If you were going through and you wanted to make yourself in this world, right? Would you purposely choose like a comb over? Would that be like you're going through all the hairstyles you get to choose on your person as in like, oh, I'm going to start life as a 35-year-old male in whatever place in Canada, et cetera, et cetera. Let's go through all the hairstyles for me to choose. And you just, you press a button, poof, there it is. Would you purposely choose
what the fuck are you talking about?
No one in their right mind would choose a comb over. No one would of the thousands of hairstyles. No one would choose a comb over. However,
I used to have a head teacher, and they had a comb over, and the wind blew, and because the comb over was like long hair that they like twirled to cover the bald patch, it just extended about 4 foot in one direction. And as they were running through the car park trying to get back inside in the wind, they were trying to reassemble it. And failed as they were getting hit in the face. I love
that I took too long to get to the point, and I'm just talking about comb overs, and you're sitting there like, what the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
I'll get to the point. No one in the right mind would choose a comb over as a starting hairstyle. Like, oh, I'm gonna start my life as a 35-year-old.
So what you're saying is they chose a shitty piece of land to try and build a settlement.
Well, the longer you are in an environment, in a situation, look a certain way, with certain people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, the longer your world exists around you, the more we just accept it as is, instead of realizing we can choose to have a different way of living, a different style, a different type of clothing, a different house, a different partner. We stop realizing we have choice, and we just kind of accept like this is life. This is exactly life, and will always be life. Like people with comb overs, no one would choose a comb over. They end up with a comb over because they forget that they have choice, right? It's so slow. It's the boiling lobster.
This is a weird analogy. But
well, I'm just saying, like people for decades have been trying to live in a malaria-infested like swampland instead of being there for like, I don't know, 2 years and be like, fuck this, I'm out, and leave and find something better.
Let's go further west, let's go.
Yeah, after a number of years of trying, it's just suddenly the world that they know. And it's a shitty world, but they don't think they can change it because it's a weird human thing.
If they spent all their money on it, they might not be able to. They might be actually just stuck trying to work their way out of it.
Oh, I guess that's true. Yeah.
So the source for this,
dear listener, if you want to listen to me rant even more about comb overs, we got about a 48-minute rant at the end of this episode where I just talked about comb overs. Just all the different styles of comb overs, the different ways of maintaining your comb over.
On it. And I'll have some more comb overs in the wild stories. Anyway, so the source for this story, I'm quite proud of this. I found a news article from the Border City Star from the 1930s, and then another newspaper article from the 1960s. And the Border City Star article was written as a celebration of 100 years since this story happened, since the haunted house of the Baldoon settlement.
It really does sound like something from Lord of the Rings.
So the Baldoon mystery unsolved after years. That's the headline. Ghostly visitation ceased after goose shot. No, actually, I'm not going to read you that bit. We'll get to that.
Okay.
So let me get into it. So this was written by Ted Aitken, and also I've thrown in a bit of the stuff from the
This is from a newspaper article in 1930 that you found,
and one from the 60s that kind of followed up on it 30 years later.
That's so cool, man. That's so fucking cool.
So the haunted house of Baldoon settlement is 6 miles from Wallaceburg, and was mysteriously burned to the ground, the last act in a century-old drama which arose out of the mist of the fever-infested bogs that surrounded the county of the Lost Channel.
Can we put some like low music, some creepy music while you're talking about shit like this?
Maybe insert creepy music here if I get bothered to do it. The weird
event just going to find this a funny ongoing joke that he doesn't do anything, and it's just we're going to have nothing for the whole episode.
And then if I don't go around to doing anything, it becomes comedy rather than laziness.
I know.
So,
I know you. But I'm hoping you'll do it. We'll find out when I listen and when you release this episode.
So the weird events that followed rapidly upon. So
what caught fire? Was it a castle? Was it a?
So this is reflecting back to the house burning down was the last act in a century-old drama which arose out of the mist and fever-infested bogs of the Lost Channel.
This is from the newspaper. This is from
the newspaper. Some of this is from the newspaper. Some of this is me freewheeling. So the weird events that followed, basically over a period of 10 years, which was based on superstition. Kind of baffled what they referred to in the newspaper article as civilized peoples.
I want to get a couple dates straight again. When was this place, this Lord of the Rings establishment, tried? When was it first founded, and when was the fire as the last sort of act?
We'll get to that. So it was founded in 1804, and the strange incidents plagued John T. McDonald and his family for 10 years, from 1830 to 1840.
Oh, okay. It was just a swamp, fever, malaria-infested, haunted, shitty place to live.
Exactly.
People are like, this is home.
Yes. It's better than Scotland. So.
He can say that. He's Welsh. It's fine. They're neighbors.
It's fine. Yeah. So the Baldoon mystery is described as a drama handed down from grandfather to grandson. A mystery that the story retains weird elements that have marked it since the days of its origin more than 100 years ago. It has no solution, nor does any terrifying incident ever lose the spine-chilling sensation when retold. So John McDonald was one of the early settlers in the Baldoon district, and he had quite a bit of money for the time. He wasn't like million billionaire, but he was a man of means. And he built his home near the marshes, near a place called the Lost Channel, which is a treacherous stretch of swamp and quicksand.
They even name these places like kind of haunted.
Yeah. Where should we move? We just came to Canada. We just got off the boat. Where do you want to go? Do you want to go to Sunnytown, Saskatoon, or would you like to go to Doomsville, Ontario? Doomsville, Daddy. It sounds more exciting.
Right.
We can solve a mystery. So apparently, there's a treacherous swamp and quicksand that has claimed many lives since that time.
What?
So you can't even let the kids go out and play out back.
Quicksand is a real thing that actually kills people? I was told that it's just in the movies. Someone told me that recently. I thought it might have been
Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull, where they rescue him with a snake.
Yeah, that happens all the time.
It does. You just get a big snake and you pull him out with a snake.
So someone drowning in quicksand, like that's I think one of the worst ways you could die is drowning in sand. That just sounds horrible.
Yeah. I mean, or having all your skin peeled off with a tin opener. That could be worse.
That's probably worse, Reese. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, you, of course, would be the person to talk
A rusty
about
tin opener.
the worst ways to die. Yeah, just thank you. Thank you.
So Mr. McDonald built his home on a piece of land that was kind of in contention and was desired by an unnamed old woman known only as the old woman in the long log house, or the low log house.
He was desired by the
the land he built his house on was desired by an old woman known as the old woman in the long low log house, who lived with her 2 sons, and she also had a daughter.
This can't be a real place, man.
And the woman and her children were described as unpleasant, sullen, and unfriendly. And basically, their attitude made them unpopular within the settlement.
So hold on. These guys purposely moved to this like horrible land and then chose to build their house on the worst place in this horrible land.
And these shitty people that nobody likes in their town is like wanted the land too. But the Scottish settlement was like proud of its friendliness and welcomingness, and they kind of stood out as miserable bastards.
Right. Okay.
So she basically said, "Can I buy the land off you?" And he refused, and then some weird shit started happening. So,
you think she like put a curse on him or something?
Well, this is we're going to get into it, Jesse. So the McDonald home was one of the finest in the district, and he was widely respected by his neighbours, and they lived in comfort. But then strange things started to happen. So when John came home one day, his wife complained that a kettle which stood up on the stove would jump and rattle whenever it was touched. And John kind of laughed, thinking it was just like a prank, because maybe his wife was a prankster, a 19th century prankster woman. When he placed his hands on the kettle, it leaped from the stove and struck him on the arm too.
That's fun.
The kettle was then set upon the fire, and as he turned his back, it rose in the air and hurled itself to the floor, splashing boiling water across the kitchen. And from that day forward, the weird manifestations increased.
So he has a poltergeist. That's great.
Kind of like poltergeist stuff. So every night for 3 years, the slow and steady measured tread of men marching in a remote portion of the house could be heard, but no trace of them was ever found. At a time...
3 fucking years. 3 years!
Just men marching.
No fucking way. No fucking way am I staying more than a week. Okay?
It gets worse. It gets worse.
Oh my God.
As time went on, incidents became more dangerous and even more disheartening to the family. Guns in the house would go off without anyone near them. It's just like the gun cabinet. There's just your blunderbuss is starting firing off randomly in the closet.
What the fuck, man?
Hello, this is Reese. I recommend that you listen to Purpose and Protection from Commissionaires Nova Scotia. The whole show is built on the ethos that behind every uniform is a story. So if you feel inspired by the stories of those who serve Canada, it is a must listen. And it'll give you insight on the mission, people and culture of the Commissionaires. So listen to Purpose and Protection at commissionaires.ca/podcast or wherever you get your podcasts.
Patreon.com/Canada is boring. Canada's coolest club. Premium fun, privileged access to secret content, a chat app with the hosts, hours of fun for everyone, the promise of eternal life.
Patreon.com/Canada is boring.
I'm getting chills. This is creeping me.
Oxen fell dead in the fields as they worked. The horses fell dead in their stalls. The hogs sickened and died, and even the poultry died. One day, the McDonald baby began to scream while lying in its cradle. A red-hot stone was found under the infant.
Jesus.
When tossed into the river, it made the water sizzle. A minute later, the stone flew back into the room.
Fuck off. I think some of this shit's made up. That doesn't make any... That's...
Really, Jesse? You think that flying hot stones and guns that go off and invisible marching men who hang around for 3 years might be made up?
I mean...
It's a Halloween story, Jesse.
yeah, what you're saying, like it happened though. This is what we do. We don't tell fake stories on this podcast.
We don't know, but this is from a newspaper, and newspapers don't lie.
Never, famously.
Yeah.
All right.
So small balls of fire would float through the air, settling in various parts of the house, setting it on fire. The house eventually burnt to the ground when a dozen small fires started at the same time. Nothing was salvageable. The barn containing all of the family's grain also burned. Now imagine your grain was important back then.
As was your sanity. Why would they put up with this for years? That's ridiculous.
I don't know.
Right? It's fucking comb-overs. Just like, this is our house, I guess. Nothing we can do. Not like we can leave ever, or sleep outside, or go to a neighbor's house, or
I don't know.
Sell everything we can and go to an inn. Can't do any of that shit. This is
so McDonald, the McDonald family were like, do you know what? We'll build a new house.
Okay, there we go. So hold on. But he had to wait for the house to burn itself down before deciding to do something about all of this ridiculous shit.
Yeah, so he built
this is what I'm talking about. No, like he moved himself there and then removed all sense of accountability in his life, like whatsoever. He's just like, okay, I've moved my family to this location, and now I am free of choice and have no willpower whatsoever. And it was only until it was taken away from him completely, where he was completely homeless, that he's like, well, I guess I should do something now. Like I don't know. The least believable thing about this entire story is the fact that they just sat there and took it for 3 years.
Well, so they built a new house, but then they got the weird sounds in the new house too.
It is a curse then. Okay.
However, there was a brief relief in incidents when the old woman in the long, low log house, the unnamed old woman with the miserable children, Mrs. McDonald asked her to weave a carpet. And, who
asked who to do what?
So the Mrs. McDonald, the wife of Mr. McDonald, asked the miserable old lady to weave her a carpet, and when she agreed to do it, and then she said, the old woman said, "No trouble will befall your house while you're engaged in my business," and all the weird shit stopped. So no more fires, no more smashing windows, no more hot stones under babies. But when she finished the rug, it all started again.
Jesus, get that woman to just make non-stop rugs. Fuck.
Yeah, we need rugs for everything. The stairs, the bath. One of those horrible, unhygienic rugs that go around the base of the toilet that stink of piss. Nice in the night when you're cold and you don't want to stand barefoot on the floor, but it is full of piss. And probably tiny bits of poo. You know those ones? Did you ever have those?
I don't. I never have. Thank God.
No.
I have a small shower mat that easily fits into a washing machine, Reese. Like,
you can't wash them. It'll ruin them. Anyway, the McDonalds were regarded as superstitious fools by their skeptical friends, and things just kept happening. And some neighbor kind of...
so hold on, did he build a house on the same bit of land that the...
It was on the same bit of land, but like a new site, yeah.
Did he know that, like, did he wonder why this was happening? Did he figure it out? Did he kind of piece anything together? Was this just
we'll get to it. So it all carried on, like furniture, doors slamming, like all the classic poltergeist, chairs sliding from under people, food thrown from plates, mysterious, spontaneous fires. So the neighbors protested that the McDonalds must have been victims of witchcraft, and they just had to move.
This is what the neighbors are saying.
Yeah, somebody else suggested they should make a large sacrifice. I don't know what that... Like, I don't know. Yeah, let's murder one of the farm animals. They'll do
Sacrifice the old woman. Jesus.
Yeah. So they decided that they then moved. They then took up residence in a house several miles away. But even then, the ghosts still followed, apparently. So...
so the land was free and available for the woman to take, and she just kept the curse going.
Well, they still owned it, so...
Oh, they still... okay.
So, a local school teacher who'd studied witchcraft posted a sign in the house which read, "I command you, troublesome spirit, to leave this house in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost." And apparently everything carried on, did nothing.
Yeah, of course.
So they held prayers, ceremonies... They had the clergy, they had an indigenous medicine man, but there were no results. a Methodist circuit rider, I think that must be like a traveling Christianity person, suggested that McDonald go to a doctor at Long Point who was said to be gifted with some power of second sight and stone reading. And apparently there was a fragile 15-year-old girl who was there who had some kind of powers. So when she said she would help, and when she heard the story, she said she could help, but her powers apparently resulted in mental strain and physical exhaustion. Kind of like when Eleven gets a bloody nose in Stranger Things.
Right.
And she uses her psychic powers.
Of course.
Yeah. So the girl, 3 hours later, the girl came from her room visibly shaken because she, I don't know, connected her brain to the universe or something. She asked Mr. McDonald if he'd ever seen a stray goose on his farm. Mr. McDonald said that, yes, he'd seen a stray goose and he shot and missed it. Apparently the goose had quite like distinctive patterns on it. So she said, "Of shot, you may fire all you like. No bullet of lead will ever harm a feather of the bird. The bird is the destroyer of your peace. Taking the shape of a bird is your enemy," the girl said. So he said, like, how do I get rid of it? "You shall mould a bullet of sterling silver and shoot it at the bird. If you wound it, your enemy will be wounded in the corresponding part of her body. Go and be at peace." So he went home, basically talked about...
This is insane. This is...
Talked about the goose, and then he got a silver bullet formed. And he shot and hit a bird in its wing, which looked like a goose, but it escaped into the reeds unscathed.
Okay.
I said it's like a Grimm's fairy tale.
Sorry?
It's like one of the old Grimm's fairy tales.
Yeah, exactly. This doesn't sound like...
You must shoot a goose. Like, it's just like...
Like, I've heard haunting stories in, like, Nova Scotia and in Canada, like recounted tales of supposed real hauntings, and they all sound realistic, like unbelievable, but the way that they're told just sounds like, okay, it sounds like real people doing real things. This sounds like a fairy tale. It really does. You're right. Yeah. Yeah.
So Mr. McDonald then went to the long, low log house, and he found the old woman resting in a chair on her porch, and she had a broken arm.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Exactly where he shot the goose. Dramatic music.
This is ridiculous.
So
I'm starting to think the newspaper made this entire thing up.
The persecution of the McDonald family ended from the moment the bird was shot. And it said the old woman suffered intensely from the wound. And on her deathbed, she said she knew it was Mr. McDonald who shot her, but they refused to tell the truth about her amazing goose powers. So that's the story of the Baldoon mystery, and the reason all these details are in there is that this has been handed down orally for from that 100 years from when it supposedly happened. This is a reporter recounting 100 years of oral tradition ever being passed down.
Well, I thought you said it happened in the early 1900s.
It happened in 1830. The story.
Oh, it happened in 1830. Okay, I thought.
But the newspaper article published this 100 years after it happened. So the reason that it's so colourful and full of all these kind of weird fairy tale elements is that it's kind of been like sexed up or jazzed up by people telling this story to their kids as like a Halloween tale and as a bedtime story and everything like that. However, apparently, the McDonald family home site where this Baldoon mystery happened is in modern-day Wallaceburg, is at the intersection of St. Clair Parkway and Langstaff Lane, marked by a historical marker, and right next to it is a neglected cemetery full of McDonald family members, where they're still buried next to the lost channel.
Wow.
So even though they just threw a fucking goose in there with magic powers, there's an element of there was something that happened that I think if you wanted to, you could say it was a poltergeist story, and then it got all this colour got added on, and witchcraft fear, and blaming this old lady from a family who are outcasts, and behind it there's like a much bigger story going on about like society and fears of the time and everything else that have kind of created this very weird, unique Canadian fairy tale.
That's crazy, the stories that you find, man. I gotta say, it was creepy for a little while, and then it just got to a goose, and it just
But it's amazing. I love it. It's
A
like,
girl with psychic powers, and then a goose voodoo doll, and I'm just like, okay, this is
okay. Well, let's jump to the STD zone because I got a great scary thing I saw the other day that I want to tell you about.
Okay, that was a fun story though. I really enjoyed that.
Good.
Yeah. All right, STD zone, huzzah!
You are now entering the STD zone. Incoming STD. Loading small talk. Enhancing anecdotes. Dick jokes processing. You have reached the small talk dimension zone.
Anything happened to you, Jesse? Small talk?
No, I've just been working my ass off for weeks, and it's coming to an end, and I'm very thankful for it. Very, very thankful. There's a spa nearby that is like a thermal spa. It's just a whole bunch of hot tubs basically outside, and I'm gonna go and sit in it and just make human soup for a bit. It's gonna be great.
Nice. Human soup.
I got nothing. That's
right.
I've just been working.
Well, do you want me to tell you something? I was in Costco, and I was minding my own business. And there might be a medical reason for this, or something that someone might want to tell me about. But I saw a man, and he was entirely bald, and I saw him from behind, and he had what looked like a mustache on the back of his neck.
Okay.
As if he'd shaved all of his head apart from this thin strip that looked like a handlebar mustache. So instead of it being on the front of his head, it was on the back.
That's kind of funny. That's funny. I approve.
I have not stopped thinking about it since.
You think that's a medical condition? That a perfectly shaped mustache is on the back of someone's...
Back neck mustachitis might
No,
be
that was a choice, man. He did that on purpose.
Or is he
a pair of
kind
glasses
of like
behind him, and
is he having some kind of surgery where he's going to have it grafted on his genitals like a Brazilian? I don't know.
That's the scary story you had to tell me.
It's terrifying. Why would you have a mustache on the back of your head? It doesn't even make sense. How do you tend to that mustache? You have to get someone to like stand behind you and trim your back of your head mustache. It's insane.
That's definitely a choice. That's not something. See, that's a choice. That's not something that someone just woke up with one day and suddenly they had a back mustache.
Oh, no, hang on. Maybe it's not. When you said it's a choice, that made me think, what if it isn't a choice? What if that's as far as he can reach?
Yeah, he's shaving his own head. He doesn't bother going to a barber, and that's as far as he goes. That's
as far as he can get. Yeah.
That's
and
he has no friends and no family members who could reach back there. Right.
No, exactly. Exactly. And I
slowly over time it turns into a handlebar back mustache. Yeah.
And I also Halloween related, took my two youngest kids to their elementary high school dance disco. So what happens is
Halloween elementary disco dance
thing where, you know, they did like the parents organize it and they all get dressed up and they sell candy and all this kind of thing. So my kids had turned up, they both went in two different directions, found their friend groups, and my wife was working late. My oldest son didn't want to go for obvious reasons because he's not in elementary school, he's in high school. And I was just there on my own. And then I went and sat in the corner and I was like, hey, I'm here if you need me. Well, when I say need me, I'm here when you come and ask me for money to buy more like sugary treats,
right?
While you run around with your friends and then consume more sugary treats, and they just go around each of their parents buying it and then sharing it all, and they end up eating a ridiculous amount. But so I was sat there. There was this weird phenomenon happened where one by one, more and more dads who'd been abandoned by their kids joined me, and we formed what I call the Lonely Dads Club because. I kind of broke the unwritten rules of the Lonely Dads Club. So they were all there. And the rule is you sit near each other, but you look at your phones and you don't talk to each other.
And there was really sad.
And there was about 6 of us. And I looked around and I was like, I can't not say something. Yes, no one is talking to each other, but I've got to. Surely I can like create this spark where this can go from being a lonely dad's club to just a dad's club.
Should have just said like who farted or something.
I basically went, this is like some kind of lonely dad's club, eh? And I was just met with silence. So like, I'm gonna go for a walk. So,
that's great. That's awesome.
So yeah, I'm trying if any listeners have ever experienced a lonely dad's club.
There's
we just forms. We just cluster together in an unspoken way.
There's an Instagram Instagram account that I follow. I forget what it's called. It's like depressed dads shopping or something like that. It's like dads who are
phenomenal. Yes, yeah.
Like they're brought to the shopping mall, but like by other people, whether it be their wife or their kids, but they don't want to be there, and they're whoever they're with is off shopping, and they're just sitting in a chair in the middle of the mall hall, like just looking on their phone, sad as fuck. It's just, and it's like they didn't dress up for it. They're in flip flops, and it's just like a series of the saddest dads. It's great.
Yeah, you see it all the time. Anyway, so happy Halloween, everyone.
The Lonely Dads Club. You should make a poster for that.
Name for a band. If I was in a band, I'd call it the Lonely Dads Club. The other band name I came up with that I really like is Luxury War Crimes.
Okay, yeah.
It makes you think. I
think what's going on in your head. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dear listener, if you enjoyed this and if you have any weird ass ghost stories yourself that you'd like to tell us, and give us a shout. We haven't had a speak pipe in a while. Speak pipe is like an anonymous voicemail you can leave. You can tell us your name and your email if you want. You don't have to. Just go to speakpipe.com/Canada is boring, or maybe it's speakpipe.com/Canadian politics is boring because we haven't changed it. Either way, check them both out and tell us if you've got a little like 1 to 2 minute ghost story. Let us know and maybe we'll play it on the show.
That would be nice. Yeah.
That'd be nice. Wouldn't that be nice? We haven't had a speak pipe in a while. Or just leave us a message and say hi. That'd be nice too.
You.
We're feeling pretty lonely over here. Yeah. The Lonely Dads Club is a real thing.
Yeah. Thank you for listening, and don't shit your pants. Don't shoot a goose. Don't mess around with the
saddle lady near you.
The saddle lady in the long low house. And don't die of quicksand or something. Drown it in quicksand. You don't die of quicksand. You drown in quicksand.
I know, and it's horrible too because you're like, it's slow. You're not even slowly dying. You're just like, it's a countdown until you drown from sand. Like that's horrible. It's just fucking.
I just die screaming. I can't get the sand out of my mouth. Oh.
Well, I mean, yes, right? Like, okay, that's enough.
My teeth. You know when you get sand in your mouth and you close your teeth and it's like all gritty.
Stop.
Death by gritty teeth.
Send us a speak pipe. Okay, goodbye,
bye, everyone.
Sweeter than cold and much too polite. A place that's exciting with kryptonite. You may fall asleep with no warning because Canada is boring, boring. Because Canada is boring, boring. Canada is boring, so boring. Canada is so fucking boring, boring, boring. A real cool podcast with Reese and Jesse.